When somebody sends me a comment or a message on my YouTube videos, or a private message, and they ask nicely, I'm very glad to give you an answer. So somebody asked me, Greg, they said, do you remember the Vietnam War? I said, oh, yeah, yes. To answer your question, yes, I remember the Vietnam War. Uh, the good thing about when I grew up, 1970's, the world news come on once a day, 6:30. And my dad never missed the world news, and you know how kids are. I was no different, in and out of the house, especially during the summertime, and be in the living room and kitchen or whatever, and my dad would be stretched out on the couch in the living room, and the TV would be on. He'd be watching the world news. I'd sit there a minute or two, watch it with him, and I remember watching it, and they'd say, "Today in Saigon today, heavy fighting." You see a news clip, maybe Dan Rather out in the field reporting on the news. But the first 10 or 15 minutes, that was it. The rest of the news broadcast was benign, gentle politics, a dog lost found after 10 years. You gotta remember, in my days, life was much more peaceful, relaxed, slow. And to answer their other question, how did the Vietnam War affect my childhood? It didn't. I had a normal childhood. To us kids and almost teenagers, well, my cousin Randy, he was a teenager, but to us kids, and I say this, with respect to all of our veterans. To us kids, Vietnam was on the other side of the world. It didn't affect my childhood. No. I had a normal childhood. I really did. I remember when my first cousin Arlie was in the army during the Vietnam War. I remember that. Every great now and again, his mom, my Aunt Dorothy, maybe she'd get a letter from him and she'd read it. But we didn't sit around and talk about it sitting on the porch at my grandma's. No. Every great now and again. It was almost like it didn't even exist. But here back in the States, normal childhood. I mean, it was the 1970's, a wonderful time to grow up. The world wasn't chaotic like it is today. Today, the world's all chaotic. It wasn't like that when I was growing up. No. Life was simple. It's just a whole different world when I grew up. Life was slow. Problems seemed easy to fix. Yep.